I gave him ingrown toenails, allergy attacks, his costume tear while he was fighting. I always figured, what would it be? In fact, that's the secret. Every story I wrote, I figured, what would it be like if it were me? Well, I know with me, things always go wrong. So he'd have a toothache while he's fighting a villain. He'd go to the bank, they wouldn't cash his check. We need an identification. Well, can't you see I'm wearing a Spider-Man suit? But anybody can wear a Spider-Man suit. But I can't tell you my real name. I'm a secret identity hero. So it ends up he got a reward check. He couldn't cash the check. It didn't do him any good. So I think those little angles maybe humanize the characters a little bit.
Spidey always had problems. I felt bad for him, but he was so cool. When you were a kid, a lot of us grew up reading your stuff. When you were a kid, I mean, were the comics as popular? What were you reading? What kind of inspired you to say, you know what, that's what I want to do? Which is kind of, drawing little things when you were growing up, a little kid.
Not really. When I was a kid, there really weren't comic books like these. The only comic books were reprints of newspaper strips like Little Orphan Annie, Dick Tracy, Flash Gordon, things like that. And it wasn't really until a few years later that Superman came out, and that started the superhero thing. Then Batman,
right? And
then, of course, Marvel brought out its characters, which are the world's greatest. And but when I was a kid, I just read books. Those were about the only things.
What kind of gets
the Hardy Boys, Tom Swift, Don Sturdy, Bumba the Jungle Boy, Tarzan, Sherlock Holmes, anything that was exciting and the equivalent of what they have in comic books now.
I tell you, what's a typical day like for you? Like, you're Stan Lee, you wake up, you have 1,000 projects still cooking, you're 88 years old, you wake up and what's the first thing you do? I mean,
first thing I do is thank God I woke up.
And so do we. What happens next?
Well, I go to the office. We have a little office. I have a company called POW
Entertainment.
With an exclamation point.
I know it well.
Otherwise, it'll look like Prisoner of War. And I'll bet you've already figured out that POW stands for Purveyors of Wonder. You're good. You're good. I've got to come up with a good superhero.
I'm telling you, if anybody deserves it to me, I'm kind of a, anyway.
So anyway, I go to the office at POW, and we're working on 1 million different projects. I love to keep busy. We have some movies that are in development, some TV series. We have a little association with Disney. They're doing a comic called Time Jumper, which is a motion comic. And we're doing all kind of things. So I keep busy, and occasionally I do a television interview like this. And after I've done it, people always say, never again.
I don't think that's the case. That's not the case this time. I would love for you to come back all the time. You're just up the freeway.
All right, just set up the appointment schedule.
Let me give my card. But, they say rap. I don't want to rap. Understand this. I was fascinated because I was looking up stuff, and let me say, you have already 3 new characters. Is this for real? 3 new comic books announced just last night.
Oh, yeah, boom.
It's
boom.
Soldier Zero,
I have one
The Traveler, and they're how do you, honestly,
well, I have to be truthful. I did not create them.
Okay. But your name is still attached.
I'm sort of acting as an overall editor. So I made a deal with them.
Right.
They took the 3 things they liked the best. And I said, I'll try to give it a little bit of my touch, which I hope won't be fatal.
No.
And we'll work together. So I admire those people. They're very talented, good writers, excellent artists, and it's fun. So I like doing things I haven't done. Usually I do all the writing. Here, some other poor slob is doing the writing. I'm doing the interview, so I have all the glamour. He does all the work, and this is a pretty good arrangement.
I tell you what, we could go on probably for the next 2 hours.
And it sounds like we will.
It sounds like we will. I know you have a busy schedule at Comic-Con. We thank you for taking the time out to come out here. You've made my year.
Don't lose it.
Well, that's very nice.
On the Fox Fight, sir, it's an honor and a pleasure.
It was a pleasure.
Wait, what's my superhero name?
You know what I'm going to do?
My superhero name.
I'll make sure that they tune in again tomorrow. I'll send it to you, and you can announce it tomorrow.
What a tease. Stan Lee, ladies and gentlemen, Christy, over to you. I am giddy with excitement right now.
Raul, I have a question for Stan.
Yeah.
I forgot. Excelsior.
Oh, wait a minute.
What did you say?
Again.
Excelsior.
Ooh, Espanol.
Wow. Wow.
Imagine me forgetting that.
I know, right?
Nice.
Thank you, Stan.
Hey,
Appreciate
you're
it.
terrific. That was a good job.
Thank you, man.
Son
Thank
of
you,
a
Stan.
gun.
Rebel,
All right, Kristen.
I have a question for Stan. What is the one thing that he wants to do but still hasn't been able to pull off yet? What is his pipe dream?
For you, I have done this.
You know what? I appreciate it. And that's something we couldn't hear what Christy was saying, so
Oh,
I got stuff.
bummer.
Yeah,
Okay,
let's go to be our guest now.
Maybe we'll ask him that in a commercial break
Yeah,
and bring
wing
it to
it.
you later. Okay, the Alpine Inn has been